Good morning. I'm Beth Brown Limmer, the president of the Vermont Covered Bridge Society. Today we are back for our 7th podcast this year, and we are circling back today. We have 2 guests. One is Phil Gatenby, and the other is our vice president and membership chairperson, Scott Scribner. Scott was on our very first podcast, which was last October 24. And Phil was on our January edition of the podcast video series here that we are recording at the Okemo Valley TV studio in Ludlow, Vermont. So today I want to start with Phil. Phil is the fellow that has been doing the video series on Vermont's 100 covered bridges. He has stood up a YouTube channel, and he drops 1 video per week on Sunday. And so he has been out there filming the bridges in Vermont, and I am anxious to hear where he is in his adventure and what he's been encountering and all kinds of stories and tales. So Phil, can you tell us and update us where you are in your process, in your project?
Yes, this week's episode is episode 41. I've actually filmed at 52. Oh. So I'm a little bit ahead of myself.
Good.
And by this month, I'm going out once more in September, and I'll be going out twice in October. Mm-hmm. And I'm hoping then I should have at least 73 of the bridges done.
Good.
And then I'm retiring until April. I'll have enough episodes to last me until April. I didn't particularly enjoy going out in the winter last year. It was brutal, to be honest. And they were local bridges. I purposely saved the local bridges until it started snowing. And to give you an example, at the Scott Bridge, I actually had to go down twice. Because if you imagine, I'm sort of holding my camera stick in one hand, I've got my notes in the other. My hands were just freezing. And so that episode itself, I had to do 2 trips. So now, because I started south at the most southern bridge and I'm moving my way north, I'm not going to drive in the snow for 2.5 hours.
No.
And then I've got to film a minimum of 6 bridges. So by fast tracking until I've got enough episodes till April, okay, I can relax by the warm fire.
So the episodes that we're going to be seeing in March, when there's brown snow month, is actually going to be video from fall.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So
yeah.
There we go. We'll preempt that. Okay. So Phil, tell me. So you've done Windham County, you've done Windsor County, correct?
Yep.
You've done Bennington County. Have you done Rutland County?
Yep.
Rutland County is done?
That's where I'm at right now.
Okay.
Episodes 41 to 47.
All right. Okay. And so what do you have? You have done Orange County?
Done Orange.
Or Washington County?
So I've started. So from 47 to 52, I started in Washington.
Okay.
And I'll be picking them up in October, the rest.
Good. Now what about Caledonia County?
So that is Caledonia. Actually, that's going to be in a couple of weeks' time in September.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to get all these before April.
Yes.
Okay. So now tell us, what has been your favorite bridge thus far? Now, we know you haven't been way north yet, but what has been thus far your favorite?
Well, if I can say 2, because I've got the favorite bridge, but I've also got my favorite episode.
Very diplomatic.
Which is
very
slightly
good.
different. So episode 7 was the Chisellville Bridge. I just loved the height of it and being down in the gorge and just sort of looking up at it and looking at old pictures of when it didn't have the pier as well, holding it up.
Yes.
So that was my favourite bridge, and it's the second highest.
It is.
It is, and I'm going to the highest in October.
Okay.
So I'm going to I'm looking forward to comparing the 2.
The highest we're talking about from the water surface, the normal water surface, not our drought water surface, which is so desperately low at this point, but from the normal water surface to the bottom chord of the bridge is how that is measured. Yeah. And so the one that is the highest distance is actually the Halpin covered bridge in
See, I wasn't going to
Middlebury.
ruin it. I was going to keep
Yes.
people suspended.
And so Chiselville, yes, Chiselville in Bennington County is a very, very nice bridge.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your other one?
So my favourite episode that I did was actually one I did 2-3 weeks ago from Rutland, and that is called the Twin Bridge.
Yes.
Many people have been there, and I've ticked it off. You know, I've been to the bridge. But unless you've been there, you won't know or necessarily know that it's a town shed. Mm-hmm. But structurally wise, it's the bridge that they took off the river after the abutment failed in a storm, and so nobody had certainly been in and filmed it or put it up on YouTube.
That's correct.
So I was very pleased, and the feedback I've had from people that have been there and said, you know, thankfully I've actually now seen what it looks like inside.
Never before footage.
Yeah,
and that's fabulous.
And I contacted the town highways department, and they were great. They helped me get inside it, and actually editing that episode as well, because it used to be a twin bridge, so I was able to bring in the twin bridges up in Heartland, but also the Salmond Bridge. That was a former covered bridge over the north branch of the Black River that became a town shed. Mm-hmm. Fortunately, that was then reversed, and it was moved over to the Sherburne Brook.
Correct.
The Sherman Brook in Wethersfield. So I was able to bring all this in and put it into focus. But after 75 years, the Twin Bridge still remains a town shed. And so that was my favourite episode to do, because I had history, I had everything in it, bringing other bridges in, but also being able to actually go inside and film.
You had suspense in that one for sure, because
Yeah.
you did a great job of teeing up the fact that, so I wonder what it looks like inside. Oh, the door is open.
Yeah.
Let me go in. It was great. I loved it.
Yeah, I purposely sort of left it right till the end before I went in.
So many funny things that you infuse into your videos, Phil, and I get such a kick out of it. You know, the business about falling in the river, the business about getting your waders, you know, having a hole in your waders and and getting your feet wet, and will the patch hold or will it not hold? But the other one that I was thinking that you had done some great footage on is the Tidcombe or Stoughton Bridge down in Wethersfield. And that bridge, because of where it is out in that field, and a lot of people are hesitant to actually go across that field, and the footage that you've got of the interior of that bridge, I found very fascinating too. And the fact that you go down underneath the bridges and look and see. So yes, we are telling everyone far and wide. Now, tell me about your YouTube channel. You started that when? About a year ago now?
So I started filming in September, and the first episode went out in December.
Okay.
That was all thanks to Okemo Valley TV, because I knew how to film, but I had absolutely no idea how to edit.
Right.
So I was going along and filming all these bridges. I'd filmed 9 when there was no room left on my phone. And it's like, okay, the next move is I've got to get these off. And Okemo Valley TV, through the Vermont Covered Bridge Society, very kindly offered to train me.
Yes.
And they did that with the fantastic help of Patrick and Rebecca. And all of a sudden it was like, wow. So the first episode came out in December.
Mm-hmm. So it has been an eventful year for you.
Yes.
And you are working full time in regards to your personal life.
Yes.
And so that this is not your full time activity. This is a hobby, if you can believe it, which has kind of swallowed your life, right?
And a few people think, my friends back in England, didn't realise you'd retired. What a great hobby.
Yeah.
And I think that's it, because I was sort of lulled into a false sense of security. When I started it, I've got a good friend in England, and he does an English football, soccer vlog of each soccer game. He interviews fans before the game, at halftime, and at the end of the game. Mm-hmm. And I've been with him a few times when I've gone over, and he sits in his car after he's finished, and he's got his earpiece in and he's editing it on his phone. And like half an hour later, it's on YouTube.
Wow.
So I thought, well, I can do this. I'll do the bridges, and half an hour later, it's up on there. And I came here, and it was like, the very first time I did my own, it was 4.5 hours, and I still had to come back the following week to finish it off. And I'm like, because obviously it's a different thing of just interviewing somebody and putting it on.
Right.
You know, I've got to put the soundtrack in, I've got to edit it,
Yes.
cut things out and whatever. And also, it's like after I finished here today, I'm going to 4 bridges in Rutland, one of which is going to be to this week's episode, just because there was 2 things I missed out, or I either didn't press play, and or you think you press play and you just took a picture of yourself, you know. And I've got to go back literally just to say something that takes 5 seconds, you know. So again, it is time consuming.
Well, it's time consuming. It's been quite a steep learning curve, despite your background. Okay, but you have stayed with it. And the Okemo Valley TV station recognized your perseverance, and they gave you an award this year. And so let's see your award that they gave you.
It's the 2025 Producer Award.
Yes.
I'm not sure which camera I'm supposed to be putting. I'll put it in all of them. I was very proud to receive this, and it's made of wood as well, which is very fitting.
Yes.
And I had an email from the station asking me if I'd like to attend their award ceremony and AGM. And I had to refuse because my English football team, soccer team, were actually playing in Philadelphia the same day. So I bought flight tickets and hotel. So I had to decline. And then Patrick emailed me afterwards and said, when you're passing next, can you come in and pick up your award? And I was like, what award? And I was really proud to be given the producer award. I mean, they've got many producers, you know, connected with the station, and to be given that after such a short period, to be recognised by at the TV station itself.
Well, your fame is growing. Your fame is growing. We just got back from the Tunbridge Fair for last week. We were there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And there was several people that mentioned your videos and mentioned you that came up to the booth or whatever. And I understand we've gotten a request for a speaking engagement, and they have particularly requested you.
It's the Rutland... the Rotary Club.
Yes. So by golly, I'll tell you, your fame is and your YouTube followers. Now tell me, how many followers do you have now?
It was quite high to begin with. I mean, my introduction has been seen by 1,300 people. The highest episode is just under 600. And that was one with the gorilla that did the unicycle through the Dummerston Bridge.
Yes, I was going to ask you, the most unusual thing that happened to you was definitely the gorilla.
Well, that was staged. It was set up.
Oh, it was set up. Okay.
Yeah.
You just didn't happen to be at the covered bridge when the unicyclist gorilla came through. Okay.
The person behind the gorilla outfit is that's how she gets up around Brattleboro every day.
What bridge was it that you were at? Dummerston.
And I just messaged her.
West Dummerston.
On Messenger, and just said, hey, someone doing it. And she actually wanted somebody to film her because she'd never had anybody do that. And then she could put it on unicycle YouTube videos and stuff. So it was a win-win for both of us.
But as far as your followers, you're up above 400, 452, I think, or something.
It's about, that's the Facebook page.
Yeah, the Facebook page. That's right. Okay. Yeah, the followers, which you started at 0. So in less than a year, you've got 450 some odd followers. So that's great. So you can become a follower of Phil. You can become a fan of Phil and his videos. And we think it's just great because the one thing that Phil does is he's a member, of course, of the Vermont Covered Bridge Society, but he is all in for the Vermont Covered Bridge Society, which we so appreciate. And at the end of each episode, he will point out that the Jeep spare tire cover that he has on the back of his Jeep has the logo for the Vermont Covered Bridge Society, and he always plugs us and says, you need to join the Vermont Covered Bridge Society and buy our products, which we'll get to in a minute. But so we really appreciate you being an advocate for us, and we are an advocate for you, Phil Gatenby.
Thank you.
And also, I wanted to tell the viewers that Phil has just recently decided that he would accept my offer to become the host of this podcast. So in 2026, it will not be me. This is not my wheelhouse necessarily, but it is definitely something that Phil excels at. And so he has volunteered once again to take that on in addition to his hobby of videotaping all the covered bridges in Vermont. So I thank you so much for that and look forward to, in January, Phil will have, I'm sure, some very interesting guests and be very entertaining himself.
We could do one of the podcasts in the town shed.
Yes.
In Rutland.
There you go. He's already full of ideas of where he's going to go and what he's going to do. So that's the kind of guy that he is. So that's a good segue in the fact that he always encourages people to join. So now we have Scott Scribner, who is our membership committee chairperson for the Vermont Covered Bridge Society, and also he's our vice president now. And so Scott is going to come back and kind of update us on where we are in regards to membership this year, what it is that we've been doing. But before we go to Scott, I am going to read, we had a Covered Bridge Week in Vermont, as you know, if you've been watching the podcast, that was August 2nd through the 9th. And on the 9th, we had a dedication ceremony for a plaque that is now installed on the Poland Covered Bridge, which is in Cambridge Junction, Vermont, which that bridge is the reason why the Vermont Covered Bridge Society was started. The bridge was in desperate need of repair, needed federal funds, and so the Senator Jim Jeffords, U.S. Senator Jim Jeffords at the time, who was a native son from Rutland, was in the Senate and advocated that federal funds be secured, which they were, and the bridge was saved. And in that whole process, the Vermont Covered Bridge Society was born. So Joe Nelson at the time was the newsletter editor, and also he wanted to try to get some members into the society. So he wrote in the first newsletter in 2000 the following, announcing the Vermont Covered Bridge Society. The Vermont Covered Bridge Society, incorporated in February of 2000, is now open for memberships. The society was founded to address concerns about the loss of Vermont's historically significant wooden spans. We hope you will join us in preserving, exploring, and enjoying our unique collection of covered bridges. The society owes its existence to William McComb, resident of the town of Cambridge, member of the newly organized Cambridge Historical Society, and member of the local Chamber of Commerce. Cambridge is the home of 2 covered bridges, one of which is badly in need of restoration. When federal funds for restoring covered bridges became available through U.S. Senator James Jeffords, Bill McComb set aside his other affairs and began to aggressively rally concerned people to found a covered bridge society in Vermont. McComb first recruited Joe Nelson, author of the book Spanning Time, Vermont's Covered Bridges. He then approached Ed Barna, author of the book Covered Bridges of Vermont. Ed Barna joined the cause with enthusiasm. Senator Jeffords' staff used photographs from Nelson's book in the senator's presentation to the U.S. Senate for the adoption of his funding bill. After passage of the bill, Jeffords' staff consulted Ed Barna on which of Vermont's covered bridges were most in need of funds. Bill McComb, Joe Nelson, and Ed Barna thank Richard Wilson, David Wright, Richard Roy, Terry Shaw, and Douglas Porter for joining the Vermont Covered Bridge Society Board of Directors. Dick Wilson is president of the New York Covered Bridge Society. David Wright and Dick Roy were president and vice president of the National Society for the Preservation of Covered Bridges. These 2 organizations have long been watching Vermont's covered bridges with loving concern, and the VCBS will gratefully benefit from their long experience with speaking and acting for the preservation of historic bridges. Terry Shaw is a concerned citizen and Cambridge businessman, and Doug Porter, a new resident of Cambridge, is a consultant in the field of the preservation of historic architecture. With the infant VCBS only a few weeks old, There couldn't be a better time for people to have a special place, who have a special place in their hearts for Covered Bridges to join. There are openings of every kind, for every kind of talent. If you don't have the time for an active role, that's all right too. VCBS needs people who enjoy the Covered Bridges and want to keep them for our posterity. The Society plans to sponsor social activities for all the friends of Covered Bridges. We need your ideas and enthusiasm. And we still do. After all these years, after 25 years, our 25th anniversary year is this year, and we have had a very active one. So I'm going to turn it over to Scott, and he can tell you what's been going on with membership.
Sure. And actually, that's really neat to hear, the words of Joe Nelson 25 years later, and we're still trying to keep this train going. And we have really, I feel like we've succeeded in our mission to try to keep adding members to the Vermont Covered Bridge Society. This year, we have actually added 70 members so far. And I don't know if that is any kind of record, but I know that as the new membership chairperson, I'd really like to see it get to 100, just like really quick.
So that's your membership goal for this year. That's the membership goal for this year. 100 new members in 2025.
Correct.
Okay. Correct. Well, I think you might get there. We only have 30 left to go.
I am trying my hardest, and the best way that we're doing this is, as Beth said, we're getting out to the different fairs, meeting people face to face, one on one, telling our story, and really getting a lot of good feedback. I was happy today to be able to sit next to Phil, because I know he's actually helped with the membership.
He sure has.
Even though that's probably wasn't your original goal, was to try to boost membership, but you're doing it. I was telling Phil, I had a friend from Alabama send me a text over the weekend saying, "Hey, do you know this guy? I just watched this video and he's going through all these covered bridges." And I said, "Absolutely, he is a member." And along with friends, my wife watches your videos. I watch the videos, so we really do appreciate everything you're doing. You're really giving us a boost to the membership as well. Good. So thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
For sure. So Scott, go ahead and tell people, since they're probably wondering, what it is that the benefits are of joining the Covered Bridge Society, except outside of helping a very worthy organization. What are the benefits?
Yeah, you said they would be really helping a worthy organization, but also we're like a family. We try to get together at least, twice a year in person. We'll have a nice sit-down lunch together. Mm-hmm. Get to be around like-minded people. Mm-hmm. After we do the business part of the meeting, we'll go out and visit some of the bridges. And actually, I believe we've got a special guest person sitting next to me that actually has gone around and done a tour, and then he might be doing something special for us coming up.
Well, don't give away all our secrets.
I won't give them away. But yes, we have to
have those teasers.
Yeah, we really. Well, that's what I thought I was doing, but that's okay. But yeah, we have a special membership portal. When you join, become a member, get on our website. We'll give you a special login so that you have access to information that just the general public does not have.
And our 2 meetings a year, we usually have one in the spring, first part of June, and one in the fall, which is the last part of September or the first part of October.
Yeah, this year is October 4th. Yeah.
And it's going to be held at the Martin Memorial Hall, which is in Wethersfield. It's actually where the Wethersfield town offices are in Nescutney. And we will be starting at 10. We invite all of our members, of course, and we invite the public, bridge enthusiasts. As I say, You come as a bridge enthusiast and you leave as a member of the Vermont Covered Bridge Society. And so we will have the business meeting from 10:30 till noon. We will have actually a hot lunch this fall. And then we are going to, at 1 o'clock, we have a short period of recognition awards type of thing and a brainstorming about where it is that we're going next, and get the members' input and the public's input on that. And then we will have a caravan, what we call a caravan. Either we will go out to the local bridges, and that's why the meetings move around, because in the process of coming to meetings and finding out what's going on with the organization, you can also see covered bridges. And I think I counted up not too long ago that in the first 5 post-pandemic bridges meetings that we've had, there was up to 19 bridges that people would have seen if they had gone on the caravan. So we see 2 or 3 in that local area, and then of course the next meeting is in a different area, so we see 2 or 3 more bridges in that area. Unfortunately, it poured absolute cats and dogs on June 7th, which was our spring meeting in Saxons River. However, it cleared in the afternoon, and we went to the first bridge, and it was sprinkling. And by the time they got to the second bridge on the caravan, the sun was out. So everyone was able to enjoy seeing the bridge in person and taking pictures.
But even if it's raining, we're undercover.
Exactly. Even if you have to stand in the covered bridge, yes, you can still see the beauty of the bridge and the location in which it lives. So those are the two of the member benefits. Now, the other member benefit is.
So one of the thing I wanted to go actually take a step back on our last meeting that we had. One of the things that I enjoyed was we actually did a presentation to all of our life members. Mm-hmm. We currently have 222 life members. And these are folks that have really stepped up, and we have a membership. Individuals are 15, couples are 20, and then our life members. If you'd like to go ahead and just pay a set price, $200 for individuals or $300 for couples, you'll become a life member, and then you don't have to worry about those dues. But part of the presentation that I did last time was we wanted to thank our life members in some way. And, I don't know if this has ever been done before.
No.
But we got a special little gift for them. I won't tell you what it is, in case you would like to become a life member and you would like to be surprised.
But it's very, very well received.
It was very well received. Everyone loved it. It's something that you can display, and I believe you'd be proud to be able to display this. And mm-hmm. I know most of the board members are all life members, mm-hmm. So you'll probably see us, and you can ask us, or we'll tell you about it if we see it out and about.
Yeah, so Scott did a special presentation to the life members that were at the meeting, and then the other life members that were not able to be there, you had mailed them all.
Correct.
To the life members, so that everyone, as far as we know, and we have more actually of this item that's on order, expected any day. And so we will do the same at the meeting on the 4th of October with the conveyance of this gift to our life members. Yep. So we certainly encourage folks to join. The life membership is a great boost to us because it's a shot in the arm for us financially. But also those year-to-year members are the backbone of our organization also. And so I just want to remind people that our dues go from January 1st to December 31st if you're a year-to-year. So January is the year that you need to repay your dues so that the mailbox is full every time you go to it in January with people that are renewing. However, you can upgrade from the year-to-year to the life member, and a number of people have done that this year. Is that right, Scott?
Correct. Actually, especially since they heard that they were going to get a gift.
Yes,
we've had
exactly.
some people
See,
find
there we
out that they're
go.
gonna
That
get
is a
gift
little
and
incentive for sure.
Yes.
That's great. But the one of the things that the board did several years ago now, because of our dues being due in January, is the last quarter of the year. So October 1st to the 1st of the year of the following year, that's a grace period, if you will. So if you join in October, November, or December, your dues are not then due again in January. Your dues will run you right through for 15 months. So if you're an individual for $15, you get 15 months of membership in the Vermont Covered Bridge Society, and I challenge you to find a better bargain than $1 a month to join this worthy organization. So yes, and then we have our beautiful newsletter. You want to talk about our newsletter that we give members?
Yep, we sent out a quarterly newsletter, and we have upgraded that to be in color. And but we ask that everyone accept to receive that via email, just to try to cut down on the cost to the Vermont Covered Bridge Society.
Yeah.
But for those, I know that there are some folks that do not have emails, and so we do print out a colored copy and mail that out to them.
We have a limited number of people, usually our older members, that prefer to have a printed copy, and so we are staying with that. But the electronic transmission of a newsletter is definitely the better thing financially for the organization.
Correct.
And then the other thing that we did this year is we solicited in in March with our newsletter. We sent a complimentary copy to the 39 towns in Vermont that have covered bridges, at least one covered bridge still remaining in their town, and with a solicitation letter and asking if they would like to become members, the actual town. And how many towns have taken us up on that?
Yeah, we've had about 10 towns that have joined just because of that solicitation, and actually from Beth Brown going out and visiting them personally. But yes, we're very fortunate to have the towns join, because when the towns join, then that means they'll be putting advertisements up and also kind of helping us with a solicitation of getting new members.
Absolutely, because nowadays almost every town has a website. And so, they can let the townspeople know what the events are in the local area. That helps greatly. I know that the town of Waterville is actually one of the towns. And of course, that's right up there near the Tunbridge Fair. We had a number of people that came from Waterville, and all over. The Tunbridge Fair was fabulous just for the Vermont Covered Bridge Society. And it never had been there before as a vendor. And it's a great fair. And if you haven't gone, you need to put it on your list of things to do. The Tunbridge Fair always starts 10 days after Labor Day. So that's easy to remember. You don't have to remember a date or whatever, just 10 days after Labor Day every year. It runs Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And that's that. And we were very busy in our booth with people wanting to talk about their covered bridge, their covered bridge. Or my town has joined the Vermont Covered Bridge Society, and that's fabulous. We sell a number of products in merchandise in our booth at all these events. We're going to the Chester Festival this weekend. And then we will be going to the Tap to Table event, which is a one-day event on the 5th of October, which is a Sunday in Cuttingsville. Also very wildly popular. This is their 5th year that they have done that, and it's grown every year. And it's a fabulous event sponsored by Stuart Maple. Stuart Maple has been one of our big supporters, was the maple producer for our Maple Monday during Covered Bridge Week. They were the maple producer that came to the Brown Covered Bridge in Shrewsbury. And then you had gone, Scott, you and Barbara had gone to the Mount Orne covered bridge in Lunenburg.
Yep.
Lunenburg is also another town that has joined the Vermont Covered Bridge Society. And there's a number, our Covered Bridge Week was wildly successful. And not only in the sales that we made, but the members that we recruited, that the people that we reached, and that the information that we were even able to disseminate, just absolutely great. We were all over the state, and there's a number of towns now that even early in this planning year for next August, which Covered Bridge Week will be the 1st to the 8th of August next year, always the first week of August. And several of these towns have already are already in the planning phase as to what it is they're going to do to have their celebration for their town for the Vermont Covered Bridge Week.
Yeah, Lunenburg told me that the day that I was there, they said, this is going over so well, we want to start planning for next year. Are you coming back out?
Absolutely.
Can you come out again for, other functions that we're having? So it did go very well.
And we also have made some very good contacts this summer with people wanting us to come and speak to their groups. I know Mark Maddox, our secretary, is planning on speaking to the Rutland foster grandparents in Rutland next week. And I've been dated up to come to Tunbridge in March. They have a Sunday series every other Sunday. They have at their library speaker, and so I'll be the finale speaker, she said, on the 15th of March, because they do it January, February, March. And the Northfield Historical Society, when we were there at the farmers market, she reached out. So we're getting more and more people that are saying, oh, let's have them come and talk. I did the talk at the library in Springfield during Covered Bridge Week, and there was a couple dozen people there. And so, yeah, it's great. We love doing all this kind of stuff, outreach, and we have more and more people all the time that are interested in helping. So this is my pitch. If you want to join the Vermont Covered Bridge Society, we'd love to have you. And we'd love to have your time, your talent, your enthusiasm, your ideas, and all that. And we are willing to plug you in to help us in whatever capacity you want to help us for whatever time frame that you want to devote to us. So if you want to devote hours and hours and weeks like Phil Gatenby has in his project, or like Scott and I do, that's great, fabulous. We can use your hands and your vigor. Or if you just have just one little thing that you'd like to do to help us out, that is also valuable to us. So please consider joining. Come to the Chester Festival. We'll give you one of these pamphlets that we have. Go to our website. We have a QR code that you can just easily, on our pamphlet, you can easily go to the website and join, pay through PayPal, and it's a done deal. So now I'm going to review, unless there's something else that you wanted to say about the membership.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if you do see us out and about at one of the fairs or festivals, you can easily join that way, just coming up to the table. Let us know that you'd like to become a member, and we'll sign you up right on the spot.
We will. We will sign you up right on the spot.
Yeah, and I'd actually, it's more fun and better to actually meet you in person.
Yes.
Than it to be done online, but.
We
definitely, we'll take it.
We have
anyway. Members
from all over the country and in Canada. So no matter where you are, we will accept you with open arms.
Open arms, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So when you come to see us at one of our events, we have a whole table full of our merchandise. But I have pitched some of this before in our podcast, but I want to update you. This is our calendar for 2026, and these are where the bridges are that are in the calendar for this year. Funny thing that happened was one woman asked me at one of our events if they're the same pictures every year. I said, no, we have 100 covered bridges. So we have different pictures every year. And unbeknownst to us, when we were in Tunbridge, this was funny because when we put the calendar together, which is, of course, a January, February thing, and all thanks to Steve Brown, who is from Farmington, New Hampshire, but he's a photographer and he does our formatting. He does the picture collection, makes the contacts with his contacts in the photography world and this and that. But the first picture in the 2026 calendar is the Larkin Bridge in Tunbridge. So that was a very coincidental thing, I guess, that happened. It was a harbinger of the fact that we were going to be in Tunbridge come September. So the bridges are all spread out all over the state, of course, and spread out through the year. And they're all professional photographs. And these calendars are for sale in our face-to-face for $18 a piece. We have sold 400 thus far. So our inventory is about 200 at this point. I realize it's only the 18th of September, but if you had wanted one of these calendars for a poor displaced person that went to Arizona or Colorado or California, you can buy it online at our website, which is at the end of our video, but it is Vermont bridges.org is the website. And we have an online store, $18 and $4 shipping per calendar is the price. This is my favorite one in this year's calendar. And so it's a very lovely gift and very lovely thing to have. Then the other thing that I spoke about before is our journals, our bridging journals. We sold a passel of these in Tunbridge, and we will take them to the Chester Festival, of course, and we will have them there. You can buy them individually. The state is divided up into 4 regions so that each region has its own journal, and each region has between 20 and 24 historic covered bridges within the region, depending on the region. So if you want to just have one region, like Phil, you're in Rutland County now, so people in Rutland County, when we went to the Rutland Fair, they wanted just the Rutland County Journal, which is the blue one, which is fine. And then if you want just the one in for Windsor and Windham County, then that's Journal 2. So they're $10 a piece, only available through email, which is Vermont Covered Bridge Society @gmail.com. or at one of our events. Or you can buy the bundle of 4 together for a slightly reduced cost. So $10 a piece or $36 for the bundle. So we have had great success with those so far. But for people that are traveling and they're just up to see the foliage and they say, I don't have any room in my suitcase. One woman told me that she actually had to leave 2 pairs of her shoes out of her suitcase because she couldn't get everything that she had bought home on the plane. And I laughed. We do have a solution for that, however, which is we have a thumb drive, which you can just slip in your pocket. And these are pictures that John Knox has taken, all John Knox work. And John Knox is a very prolific photographer. He has a website called Vermont by a Vermonter. He lives in Northfield, Vermont. He's a native Vermonter. And so what we did is when he gave us his collection of all the covered bridges in Vermont, we put them on a thumb drive. So you have the pictures. They're labeled with the bridge name and where it is. And you get this 1-page handout that goes with it. And so those are available also at on our website and at our events for $20 a piece. So you can take it home, put it in your digital frame or your computer in your waiting room or your house. So what else do we need to talk about, gentlemen?
You were going to ask me about people I'd met on my journey.
Yes. Tell us about some of the people that you have met along your trail.
Yeah, because there's always, there's people walking dogs, or they're just going for a hike, or in the towns, people passing. And I'd say there's three that come to mind. One was I was at the Hall Bridge, and a gentleman came through, and he stopped and pulled up next to me. And said he was the first person that had actually said, "Hey, I watch you," And he said, "I can't believe you're here." He then said he was in a folk band, and his band had done a film about the Kissing Bridge at the Vermont Country Store.
Yes.
And he just happened to have a CD on him.
Oh.
And he passed it me, and I said, well, actually, next week's episode is the Kissing Bridge.
Oh, okay.
The Victorian Village Bridge.
Yep.
I said I'll try and include it. And so I'd actually filmed that 3-4 weeks before, but it was due to be aired the following week.
Yep.
And I had actually gone, because I thought, well, I'm at the store, or I'm at the bridge next to the store. It'd be rude not to sort of go in and I asked and said, can I just, film? I'm not going to film people. I just want to, and I just sort of whizzed around just with the camera and avoiding people and
inside the Rockingham,
inside the
Vermont covered,
and
Vermont Country Store. Yeah.
And because I thought, well, I can't just show that on its own, just walking around the store. I'd have to just edit it to like 15 seconds. But when I actually looked at it, my footage was something like 2 minutes and 8 seconds, and the song that, about the bridge was 2 minutes and 4 seconds. Oh. So I did a nice little introduction, and because I'd actually filmed him driving through the bridge, so I was able to do that. And then as the song just sort of started up, I then introduced it, which took the 4 seconds out, and it ended exactly.
Nice.
So that was the odds of just passing at that time.
Right.
And it fitted in brilliantly.
Serendipitous.
Yeah. And then my second really good, funny encounter was at the Johnson Bridge in Randolph. And I was filming, and obviously I've got the camera here in front of me. And then I finished, and I just turned around, and there was a gentleman not far behind me with a 6-foot scythe over both shoulders coming towards me. My immediate thought was, I've just met the Grim Reaper.
And in fact, you said that.
And I actually said that.
You actually said that on the film. Heavens, I think the Grim Reaper's coming for me.
And,
yes.
And then off camera, we had a bit of a conversation, and he was happy with me referring to that. And then he came back, and he just said, I would stay here, I want to show you something. Talking of calendars.
Yes.
And he came back, because he lived next to the bridge. He came back with a 2004 or 2006 Vermont covered bridge calendar. And he opened it up to May, and there was a picture of him walking through
the bridge.
Excellent.
Yeah, which is also called the Brayley.
Yes,
Bridge.
yes, yeah.
It's actually on Brayley Road.
Brayley Road.
Yes.
So,
but a lot of people call it the Johnson Bridge, which is the thing that is confusing with a lot of the bridges. And that's one of the things that we have tried in our journal, to put the other names of the bridges. For instance, I just opened up to Pulp Mill Bridge in Middlebury, which is also called the Paper Mill Covered Bridge. But many of them have also called this, and also called that, and whatever.
And usually it's because the landowners change. So the landowner says, okay, well, my name's Phil Gatenby, so it's called the Gatenby Bridge.
Exactly. Or they decide they're going to rename it for, a dignitary in the town, or they're going back to revert to the actual builder in the, of the bridge or whatever. And so that's one of the things that, was a little time consuming for us when we were making the journals, because we're trying to, get all the names in, and some of them have 3 and 4 names that they're referred to. Yeah.
But it was good with, I think Dan Brown was his name.
Yes, exactly. I laughed because I said he's the same name as my name.
So when he showed me the calendar, I said, can we include this? So we did. So we did a little.
But no relation that we're aware of. Yes.
And then the third one actually took place last week. I was filming at the Brattleboro, my local bridge, and because I'm doing something coming up which I'll keep a secret. So I thought, well, rather than just sort of introduce it, I'll go to the bridge, because it's always better. And there was a young couple, I'd say in their mid-late 20s. And they were taking pictures, and I just went up and said, "Do you want me to take a picture of you?" And they said, "We're delighted," because they were actually getting married the following day.
Nice.
And they weren't from the area. They were actually getting married somewhere in New York, but they were traveling through, saw the bridge, and they thought it'd be a good place to have pictures of them. But I thought, well, obviously I want to get pictures of them together.
Right.
And so people do. I mean, I pass that bridge all the time. And, the amount of people you see, cars and people getting up and taking photographs, and that's replicated everywhere I go.
Yes.
It isn't just me. I mean, there's been a couple of where I'm quite isolated and there's no signal on the phone.
Yes.
And there's nothing, and dirt tracks. But on the whole, I'm always bumping into people and they always chat and it's good.
One of the things that we did during Covered Bridge Week, which I think was very, very well received, was when we at the Creamery Bridge in Brattleboro, and this was the planning of you and the Brattleboro Recreation Department, and they had one of your films, which was a world premiere of the covered bridges in southern Windham County, and it was screened in the bridge, and people sat on the bridge to watch the film. Which was very interesting. And that bridge has the most beautiful gardens out around there that the Brattleboro Floral and Garden Club maintains. And then they have annuals that I understand a couple of their members are pretty much solely responsible for the annual plants, which of course in August were gorgeous because they go there every day and water them.
They do.
But they have over in their perennial gardens, they have a border of cobblestones, and the cobblestones have engraving on them of whatever it is that you want to have. And Ed Barna, who is one of the founders of the organization, our organization, has recently passed away on July 12th. And we were gifted that night, the Vermont Covered Bridge Society, a cobblestone that we could have engraved with anything that we wanted to have engraved on it. And so when I went to see Ed's widow, we got the wording figured out in regards to what we wanted on the cobblestone. And so it will say Ed Barna, journalist, and it'll say VCBS founder on the cobblestone. And so that will be placed there. And I'm hoping, against hope, that perhaps Irene will take a ride from Middlebury, where she lives, to Brattleboro to see this stone that is in tribute to Ed Barna and his contribution to not only journalism in Vermont, but covered bridges in Vermont and so many different other things. So I think they gifted you with a cobblestone also. And have you decided what it is that you're going to do with that?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, you have some time to think about that. And so it was very kind of them to do that, for sure. So, yeah. All right. Anything else? I guess we'll close this off, and I will be back in November for my last podcast. So I'll have to, I don't know, maybe I'll have a unicyclist in a gorilla costume.
Yeah. I can arrange it.
We'll see what we can do. And then Phil will take it away in January. And so thank you for joining us and listening to us. And we will see you on the next one. Thank you.
Thank you.